with the boomerang. I didn't ask for all this flying and magic.
Hey, how's it going? Antic Living here, and today we're gonna make Sokka's boomerang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you'd like to make one of these bad boys yourself, then follow along. Also, stay around to the end of the video for something quite special. Without further ado, let's crack right into it. So the things you'll need are a poster board, paint, any kind of glue, a paintbrush, a pen, and an X-Acto knife. All these things can be attained at your local dollar store. So first we need to draw a stencil for our boomerang. So what I'm going to do is draw a rough boomerang outline of 110 degrees. We're going to start off by drawing a narrow to wide line from the handle to the center of the boomerang. Next, I'm going to draw a parallel line that matches the wide side of the boomerang. Then we're going to close off the edge with a sharp pointed line. Next, we are going to draw the bladed portion of our stencil. Only the outer side of the boomerang will there be a bladed portion. In regards of each side I'm drawing, it will be a parallel line which will only be drawn wider and wider, starting from the handle and ending to the tip of the boomerang. Then we will mark two spots for the two holes of our boomerang and use our paint bottle as a guide for a perfect circle. Now we simply cut out our stencil. Cool, we have our stencil. Now trace it onto the foam board, and remember, also draw in the circles. Now take your stencil and cut out the bladed portion of the boomerang. You are now going to trace two of these bladeless boomerangs onto the foam board. If you've drawn everything right so far, you should have 3 boomerangs drawn onto your foam board. 1 big boomerang with the blade, and 2 slightly smaller boomerangs without the blade. Next, we're going to cut out the 3 boomerangs from the foam board. As you're doing so, be careful not to bend the boomerang's design. Any creases will cause the boomerang to lose its shape and smoothness. To avoid this, cut through the lines multiple times before separating. Quick tip, when cutting out the circles, a technique that helped me was creating a guide of shallow cuts before cutting out the circles. Then the actual removal of the circles involved a technique of stabbing and carving them out in a slow manner. Great, you have 3 freshly cut out stencils, and if you already didn't, be sure to mark your 2 bladeless boomerangs for clarity. Next, what I'm doing here is recutting out the lines to remove any loose foam pieces to prepare for a smooth paint job later on, and I'll be doing this for all 3 pieces. This next step is very important. In regards of the only 2 bladeless pieces, you will be removing the paper layer off the foam board. To be more specific, you will remove the paper on the side you plan to paint on. You want to paint on the exposed foam underside, not the paper itself. Painting on the paper will result in wrinkling the boomerang. Alright, grab your paintbrush because it's time to paint. The color I'm using for this tutorial is called 2 Blue, but feel free to use any color that you want. At this point here, we are only going to be painting the 2 bladeless foam sides of the boomerang, and just keep painting until you no longer see white. And remember to also paint the sides of the boomerang as well as the insides of the circles. You might need to paint multiple layers. I myself had to paint 4 layers before I felt it was good enough, so use a generous amount of paint. So this is what you should have by now. 2 blue bladeless pieces and 1 whole bladed white piece. What you're going to do is align the 2 holes of each corresponding blue piece and start gluing them to both sides of the white boomerang. Alright, we're almost there. Now we need to paint in these white areas on the underside of the blade. We are only going to paint enough so that we leave a white tip exposed on both ends. And for the last step, draw a small notch on the wide end of the boomerang and cut it out. That's it, you just made Sokka's boomerang for roughly under $5. And if you stay to the end of the video, we'll get to answer this question together. Will boomerang come back?
If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and also follow me on my other social media. Until next time, peace.